Hi guys, it's Lilu here. I'm going to do a slightly different video format today and show you my newest hobby. We'll say newest hobby, I've been doing this since January this year, and one of the reasons that I got into it is because I've always wanted to grow my own vegetables. My dad has always been really into gardening, and he's very good at growing plants and vegetables. He's always been very green fingered, and with my dad being really unwell at the moment, my dad is terminally ill and he has been unwell for a long time. It's just something that I kind of wanted to get into, I guess maybe as a bit of a connection to him. So yeah, I'm quite keen to show you some of the stuff that I've been doing since January this year. So it's super bright, so apologies for it, but I'm going to turn my camera around now so you can see. Okay, so here we've got some carrots that are growing, and a row in between is spring onions, but they haven't sprouted yet because I only planted them about maybe like 5 days ago, something like that, so they haven't quite germinated just yet, but hopefully, fingers crossed, they make an appearance. So there's 3 rows of carrots. These do need to be thinned out quite a bit because it was a little bit too dense, so I will make sure I thin them out at some point. This here is my pumpkin. This is one of the really early leaves, so it wasn't very happy in the sun. It wasn't very hardy back then. All the older leaves were all not very hardy, but now it's doing quite well and it's starting to really thrive. Then as I come around here, I've got my peppers. So these are yellow peppers and red peppers, and here is some basil that's growing in here because apparently that's a bit of a deterrent and stops pests and things from going on there, even though I can see a bloody fly. These are my potatoes. They're doing really well in a little tub. And then these are, they call them honeycomb tomatoes, so they will grow as a yellow tomato. But I also do have some red cherry tomatoes that I need to plant in a tub of their own. I'm just waiting for the seeds to establish themselves a little bit better. But these have actually got massive because they were really small, and they're starting to get their flowers on here now. So these will become tomatoes when they've bloomed. But what you do have to do with a tomato is you have to pinch if anything grows in this little bit here, you pinch them out because then it takes the goodness away. So I have to check these quite frequently and pinch them. And then over here I've got my golden courgette plant. So I have already harvested one of them, but you've got another one that's growing here, and then I've got another one that's growing there, and then there's another one that's growing here, and I think there's another one down here as well. Basically there's about 4 courgettes that are growing on there at the moment, but my god, this thing grows so fast. Our garden's looking a bit of a mess at the moment, drying some washing, but yeah, it's looking a little bit of a mess. I need to get that flower bed sorted. I've got to level it all, dig it in the ground and level it all, and then that should be good. But just trying to keep it, you know, looking a bit nice really. And then if I go through here, hopefully you can hear me as I'm walking. Oh, this is my blueberry bush. These are the flowers, last of the flowers that are dying off, but these will turn into blueberries essentially. Got quite a nice little cluster of blueberries, and they'll become blueberries at some point. If I go through here, in this little thing here, I've got some, this is my other honeycomb tomato that's really thriving. And then here's a couple of cherry tomatoes that are sprung. I want them to get a bit bigger before I replant those though. And then behind here I have some cucumbers and a bit of a rogue plant. I'll be honest, I haven't got a clue what that is, but that's just sprung out of the soil. And at the back there you've got another couple, and then I've got some more basil back there as well. And then down here I have some chives, doing really well. And this is some spring onions, which I've got growing as well. And they're not doing too great, which is why I put some more in the flower bed, which are the hardier version. So hopefully those ones should thrive a bit better. This is my studio. Garden is a total mess at the moment. There's so much to still organise and sort out. Well, that's my working space and I've had my lunch today, so. Anyway, that's what I've been doing a lot lately. Gardening, growing vegetables. Oh, actually, I have got some more here that I've germinated recently, which I need to figure out how I'm going to plant them. But we'll go here. So this is how I've been managing quite a lot of my seeds. So I have a heat map, which has been amazing. I've got that from Amazon, but that's the heat map. And basically I sow all my seeds in, normally it's in a lot thinner kind of soil, so it's easier for the seeds to germinate and stuff. And then I've bought these propagator lights, which have been just absolutely amazing, I'll be honest. They've been really, really great. But here I've got some actual onions. This little guy's an onion. That's an onion. That's an onion. This is an onion that took ages to germinate, and it's finally starting to prop up. So there's life left in the little bugger yet. And then this is my third cherry tomato. So I have 3 cherry tomatoes now, which I would like to put in a tub. So I have a tub full of red cherry tomatoes and a tub full of the honeycomb tomatoes, which are the more sweeter yellow colour. So yeah, I'm actually pretty chuffed with myself, to be honest, because I have never ever grown vegetables in my life. It's something that I've always wanted to do. And really how I got into it is that I found this group with a bit of a questionable name. The name's Pot Gang. I joined them in January, and what it basically is you pay a subscription fee, and every month you are delivered a box with some seeds, soil and pots, and you get these really amazing little booklets as well, with details on how to pot them and look after them and things. So let me just get an example for you. So here's an example of a grow guide here, which is the spring onion one, and basically it has so your growing guide. So it will literally tell you this is where you plant it, this is how it should look, and then it gives you like little pictures of how it should look step by step, and then when you should harvest it. So it's really friendly. If you've never ever grown vegetables in your life, I would 100% recommend joining this group, because it really, really helped me to get started. Now, I've had 3 deliveries from them. So I had one in January, one at the end of January, one at the end of February, and one at the end of March. All that I had with those were, so I think the first thing I grew was the chives and the spring onions and potatoes. And so the potatoes was a little bit more tricky, because you have to chip the potatoes first. So they get like a little bit of a seed, not a seed, sorry, like a little stalk. And then when it's gone to about 1 inch, that's when you put them in the soil and they grow, and you just leave them basically. But potatoes is one of the first ones that I planted. Chives and spring onions and tomatoes, those were the first seeds that I did. Outside of that, everything I have bought separately. So I bought the carrots separately, I've bought onions separately, I've bought more spring onions separately under the Fothergill's brand. And I've just kind of, now I have a system, now I have a heat mat, now I have my propagator lights. I've just been able to do it all on my own, and I feel like it's a bit sad that I'm now going to probably cancel my subscription, but I just needed that little bit of oomph to actually get into it and get that confidence that I was able to grow stuff myself. And now that I can, I'm like, great. So the only thing I need to do now is start getting my garden full of flowers, because that's the one thing I do not have. We do not have any flowers in our garden, and I think that having some flowers would really just make a huge difference. And also just, you know, it will bring the pollinators into the garden to pollinate my vegetables, so that they actually produce vegetables. I have seen some like bees and things around. I've seen them pollinate my blueberries. My courgettes have been pollinated just fine, which has been fantastic. But there are you know, there are other vegetables, like, you know, I need the flowers pollinated for my tomatoes. My cucumbers will need pollinating eventually, and when I repot them into a bigger trub. So yeah, it's really exciting actually. There's something like really fulfilling from growing your own vegetables. So I would definitely recommend it if you've never done it before. And yeah, like I said, totally random video. I just wanted to do something different for a change. But yeah, I will no doubt do another vlog at some point with a little update on how things are going. But in the meantime, take care, enjoy the heat wave that's on its way soon, and speak to you soon. Bye.